Darth Vader was a powerful and in fact well-known enforcer within the Empire. Among the ranks of the Empire, he was known as extremely dangerous, but also someone to be respected. The tales of his feats in battle echoed throughout the Imperial military as they commented on his sorceress abilities that allowed him to execute extremely difficult tasks and achieve what others would deem impossible. But how much did the Imperial military really know about Vader? Did they know he was a Sith, or did they assume he was something else entirely? How much did the Empire and the average individual really know about Darth Vader, and were they aware of his past? Vader was often upfront about his abilities, proudly displaying them whenever he felt necessary. We can clearly see this over the course of the films, as he executes those that have failed him with the use of the Force, in plain view of others. As the Empire was pushed as an evolution of the Republic, and the masses were informed the Jedi attempted to overthrow the Senate, the public was unsure what to think of Vader. The Jedi had served the Republic for generations, and were suddenly gone, replaced with Vader. Because of this, many speculated Vader was one of the few Jedi that remained loyal to the Republic, above the Jedi Order themselves. Over the years, less and less Jedi and Force users would emerge, causing Tarkin to explain that Vader was likely the last practitioner of the Jedi or Sith way, revealing even he himself was not fully aware of what Vader really was. Vader was a recognizable but mysterious figure, and he chose to keep it as such, to strike fear into the hearts of his enemies. Them not knowing what he was frightened them a great deal. Jedi survivors of Order 66 speculated Vader was a Sith Lord, but even many of them were unaware if he truly was one, or simply just another dark side user. Darth Vader's former identity of Anakin Skywalker was a well-kept secret, and seldom even mentioned, as Vader viewed his former self as dead and gone. In fact, a rumor was created that Vader stormed the Jedi Temple, and above all else, Anakin Skywalker stood strong, becoming the last Jedi standing, before being killed by Vader on the steps of the Jedi Temple. This rumor actually carried on for years, even following the collapse of the Empire. Grand Moff Tarkin was one of the few who deduced Vader was Anakin Skywalker. Seeing Vader somewhat recognized him, and although much different than before, he recognized mannerisms and fighting styles used by the Imperial Enforcer. More rumors about Vader began to swirl that he was in fact the next step after General Grievous, and that the Empire had developed another cyborg to take the place of Grievous. This is actually suggested to be the common consensus for Vader's past among the common people. Many thought Grievous was the test, and that the newer version was constructed using what had been learned from the droid general after the Clone Wars. The reasoning behind this belief was that Vader was extremely effective, and carried out the commands of his Emperor with haste and efficiency, seldom questioning the commands of his master, and remaining loyal above fear of death. Initially, Vader was a complete shock to all, striking fear in everyone, friend or foe of the Empire. The purpose of Vader was not to be the face of the Empire, but the machine that forced it to function. However, over time, Vader was featured in Imperial propaganda to get the word out of a powerful force behind the Empire that was painted almost as a hero. The importance of Vader went beyond him being a Jedi or Sith. The public saw what he stood behind, and often judged him on that. There were of course other cases where individuals had never even heard of Vader, as he was, after all, just one man, and despite his reputation, not everyone was aware of his existence. The stormtroopers he commanded adored their leader, as unlike the Imperial higher-ups and officers, Vader was a warrior, like them, willing to fight for the Empire and dig his heels in the trenches with his men. A quote from one of Vader's men said this: "What makes you so loyal to Lord Vader? With your permission, sir, it's because my lord never asks his men to do anything he wouldn't do himself." The higher Imperial officers often mocked Vader, as they saw him as almost a relic, and saw his way of doing things as ancient and not advanced or civilized enough for them. However, many of the officers who held this opinion would never even dream of commenting on it in the presence of Vader himself. Vader similarly despised the officers, seeing them as weak and cowardice. The opinion on Vader ranged from hatred to absolute loyalty, as he was a very divisive figure in the galaxy and among the Empire, but one thing that was always consistent, he was to be feared. Following his death on the second Death Star, a cult emerged known as the Acolytes of the Beyond, who appeared to worship Vader. The group even created graffiti that read, "Vader lives," and spread it over the cities they ventured to. This indicates some in the public may have questioned if he ever truly died in the first place. At the end of the day, Vader was a hero to some, but a tyrant to most. Those loyal to the Empire were glad to have him at their side, and those who were not feared the mention of his name. So that is how the public perceived Darth Vader, as well as some of the most interesting rumors that arose about Vader. So tell me what you think. What is your favorite Vader rumor, and how do you think you might have perceived Vader if you were just an average individual in the galaxy? Would he be a symbol of hope or fear? If you have any other suggestions you would like me to cover on how the galaxy viewed certain people or things, be sure to let me know in the comments or on Twitter at StupendousWave. If you enjoyed this series and you want to see more, be sure to leave a like, as that tells me that you do. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. You guys are amazing. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.